Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Jamal Kamara. Brother Liberia, welcome again. With me tonight, I have my good friend Mark Judafa, live from the city of Stockton, that's Sweden. He's going to be joining me tonight to be discussing some important topics or headlines that made news over the week. Mark, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, my dear brother and friend. Yeah, how you doing?
But I think what we noticed today, like across Europe, is a very, very, very hot weather. I don't know how does it look like in the Scandinavia.
Oh, believe me, it's been very hot on our end. Yeah, it's been very hot on our end, and we wish for it not to rain. Because if it rain, the heat comes from the ground, and it's gonna take a couple of days or a day or two before then we start getting cool air. So now the heat is in the ground, yeah. So hopefully it don't rain, just get cool. That's what we're praying for.
Wow, it is the weather when you rain. To say Englishmen say when you rain cats and dogs. This is what happens when it gets hot. It's really, really hot. Yeah, but now let's go quickly to the topics. Then we'll take a quick break, come back, and tell you get into the main topic tonight. We're gonna have tonight. This will be our topic tonight. If you just join us, share the show, please. Tonight will be let's see what we got here.
Cooking Pro.
Go on. What we got? Just share with us.
We got number one Cooking Pro, who are Liberia's 10 drugs laws, and are they connected to government?
Good.
Number two, we got maternity hospital. Now, new hospital kicks off, but who gets rich while mothers still die at the gates? Number three, we got travel ban on officials. Boyka ground his own ministers. What were they really doing abroad? We got number four, nurses and flashlights. Liberia has money for mansions, but nurses deliver babies in the dark. And we got number five, we got teenage pregnancy. The girls dropping out of school because of teen pregnancies.
And number six.
Wow.
The what you tell me will be the Mansa. That is not there. The Mansa Resources unveil 600 million, right?
Yeah.
That's the mining project.
Exactly. $600 million concession. Yeah.
In Dubai Gold Project, we're going to go into that. That was a little release recently. That was on the. We got a news coming up. We don't have that on our poster, but it's Mansa Resources unveiled 600 million plan to develop Liberia's Dubai Gold Project. That's another gold mining project coming up. We'll be digging into that. But now we'll take a quick break. Come back. We'll get into the program. I want to say share the show. Be with us for another 1.5 hours. And we will get into it. If you have also a comment to share, please drop your comment. We want to know what you think. This is Liberia. Let's discuss Liberia tonight. But anyway, Paul may be joining us tonight, as well as Francis may be out of the country. Probably he's in back in the country. I don't know. But we hope he could be joining us anytime. Lanefoy is not around. He should be out. Yeah, he won't be off. We would not be with us tonight. But we have Paul may lately join us. But tonight, I got a good friend here who can really, very experienced, well-knowledged. We'll be discussing every topic here. That's Mr. Judah Farr. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get right into the show.
I know see plenty things with my eyeball. I swear I feel passing more pressure. If you let cause me for not to judgment day, can't put so on my skin. I know when you eat no food is a big disgrace. So to my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my low, if you tired, put it down. Sitting there, they just want me to do it and worry. But my blessing bring won't set capel. I say my blessing para sole 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 sole. I don't go, I don't go, I don't come with morale. Blessing rising, let us say I go out. Children running to jealous, say I know how. Let us say I know how. You tell my Lord, you told my Lord that you ain't get open more. You tell my Lord, you told my Lord that you ain't get open. I say you tell my Lord, you told my Lord that you ain't get open more. You tell my Lord, you told my Lord that you ain't get open. If you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. To my Lord, if you tired, put it down. Down what us up. Down what us up. Down what us up. Down what us up.
Oh yeah, sorry about that, guys. Welcome to the show tonight. Well, let me take this one down. Sorry about it. Good friend, good afternoon. Again, Mr. Mark Judo Fag. Welcome to the bottle. How are you today, my brother?
Yeah, I'm doing excellent, man.
You know, one thing I like about you, you know, you had a very good voice and very deep voice, like a horse
Oh,
voice.
seriously?
Oh
Thank
yeah, I
you,
like
thank
that
you.
voice.
I
Need to be
appreciate
like
it.
he had a voice that you have to be sitting on behind the mic. You know those late night radio show hosts
Yeah,
will be like
yeah.
late night with the truck drivers transistor going across country. Yeah, it'll be on the. You got to entertain them. I like that voice, so keep that voice going. But
Thank
it's
you,
very sharp and
thank
hoarse.
you very much. Thank you
Anyway,
very much.
welcome to the Berland. How are you today again? Because I want to tell me. I know you follow the World Cup. That's the big news around. The World Cup that is going on right now in the USA, with 48 countries taking part. Africa has 10 good representatives. And yeah, tell me what you think. You know, you're one of the big fan of football. And what do you think about this World Cup? From there, you particularly tell me what you think Africa position. Oh, in the meantime, before you go, I want to welcome our good old friend Mark, the Lord himself, good friend of King Charles. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you. It's good to be back on the platform tonight. Being a friend of King Charles, it's good that the UK is I can
We
describe
will
it.
discuss that. I know
Yeah.
that's something interesting I want to ask you. Let me get to my good friend to tell me about what you think of the World Cup, because that's the hottest news today. Are we going to talk? You're going to tell us
No,
about what's happening in the politics in the UK. And also, now we know Paul Mark is quite interested in the UK, the British politics as well. I know he has his comment to
I
make.
can
But tell me a little
describe
bit about. Tell me what you think about the World Cup, Mr. Judofa.
before going into the, thank you, my dear brother and friend, Mr. Kamara. Before going into the World Cup, I want to make this also clear and add on to, brother Mr. Chodople didn't just add this name law, you understand? A lot of Liberians must understand that this title was added to him by the current king,
I know.
Charles. So he's the only Liberian. Let me speak out of ignorance now. He's the only Liberian
So far.
because what I don't know, that
Mhm.
makes me to be ignorant. But it's not an insult, okay? So he's the only Liberian that I know so far to be officially known as Law
Yeah.
Cholople. The only Liberian with that title, Law Cholople. So I just want to add on to that, and what a how they call it. I mean, honor it is to to be the only Liberian who live in the UK. There are Liberians that work in the government. None have been given a title law to the place. So people might think that he just added on to his own name while
No,
living in the UK. No. Yeah.
it's an honor.
But anyway, to your question on the World Cup, the World Cup is, for me, I lost my taste of the World Cup, and because the way that the African teams were treated, not all of them. If you watch, there were differences the way the North African team were treated compared to those of the other African teams from West Africa, from East Africa or Central Africa, and then South Africa. You understand? So it has some psychological effect on, for example, you look at the performance of Senegal. A lot of people expected Senegal to perform good at this World Cup, but Senegal, the way they were, first of all, treated on their arrival, it has some psychological effect on them. So I want to believe that has something to do with the performance of the Senegalese. And then going to Ghana, I would tell you that I'm very surprised because I didn't watch the Ghanaian team doing the African Cup of Nations, but what I saw, the way that Ghana play, man, they are excellent. They have that English style. Ghana has changed for football from the last African Cup of Nations. They are very fast and they mark man for man. So Ghana, Morocco, and the Congolese. Yeah, the Congolese, the Cabo Verdean, yeah, because the people they don't call themselves Cape Verde, but the Cabo Verdean. Yeah, so I mean, their goalkeeper they performing miracle. So there's a lot of disappointment, but at the same time they are holding their heads up. So we hope, we hope for the best, and we wish them the
Right. Right. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for that. Good thing to analyze from perspective. We go down tonight. We've got 6 main topics. I hope we have the time to discuss them that made news over the weekend in Liberia. Well, I know you just joined, and probably you are familiar with our topic tonight, but top our various discussing points tonight. Very, very good news, something to discuss about Liberia. But in any case, what is interesting, we live in the West, right? We see the unveiling situation in terms of political situation. 10 years. I mean, say 10 years, 7 ministers, prime minister. In 10 years, seven prime ministers in the UK got elected, not elected, elected, not elected, between the two major parties. I know Brother Mark will be telling me what he thinks because he's very interested. I know you always tell me a lot about the British politics. You've been following the events. Paul, what's going on? People who've been following, something's not right. The Prime Minister, 2 days ago, announced his resignation. He'll be leaving the office or be replaced by somebody else. Give me a little bit of people who don't unfollow the British politics. What is all about? What is this? He just got elected 2 years ago. And today, just 2 days ago, he just came and said he's going to resign and somebody be replaced by another person. Give the overall, just summarize for our people that don't understand British politics. Let them understand what it means.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear me? Because look like my internet.
You're very loud and clear. You're good. You're
Right.
good.
Good. So the thing is, there's something in left they call likability. That's one. If you can hear me, the prime minister,
Go on, Paul.
they don't like him. And what happened is that he won with landslide 2 years ago. And based on his promises to the nation, he did few things, and then he started some of the policy, and then when the opposition go after him, he was somersault. And that was the weakness of him. And most people saw it that, no, this guy, he's not principle-minded. He's somebody who hesitant to make decision. It didn't go down well. They had something with the pensioners. He took it from them. And you know the old people, they are the main voter in the country and they are very vocal. It didn't go down well. So, and then they came to the issue with Ukraine. The country is feeling economic situation that is hard, but he took 3.5, it was 15 billion every year for them to give to Ukraine. So the question is, where are you getting the money from to support? And people here are not really getting the money that they need. So there are a lot of things that he made, decision that he made, and he didn't stick with the decision. And the opposition were on his back. So what happened? There was a May 10 election, and during the May 10 election, people decided to go for the most radical, the most racist party, and they won a lot of local seats on the local government level. So most of the Labour MPs were campaigning in their constituent, but people were telling them they will vote for reform because they don't like him. So after that election, people decided, his peer told him, look, I think you should step down. It's because of you that Labour did badly in the election. So step down. But then he didn't want to do it. And our own dear sister, Miata Famule, Dr. Miata Famule, who trickled the whole thing by resigning from his cabinet. And then all of resignation started going on. Now, interestingly, they are saying that he would not take Labour to the next general election, which is 2029, because the people don't like him. So they wanted him to call to step aside so they can bring in somebody. He refused. So one of the MP decided to resign from his position. And now the city mayor of Manchester, somebody resigned to give him the edge because you have to be an elected person to come into
before you
parliament
contest.
before you can become prime minister. So somebody sacrificed his seat to get this. Yeah. And when this guy resigned, Andy Burnham, who is down, he put his hand in the race, but that area reform have a lot of support in the area. But because he's from the north and he from that region and he speaks the language, so he gambled. He resigned. He left the city mayor job to contest. And guess what happened? He won with 25,000 votes.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Winning that 25,000 vote gave him the edge. Now, after he won the seat, pressure became on the prime minister that you have to step down. That will bring Andy in the race. He's now going to take over your post. So less than 24 hours, the prime minister went. He had a consultation with his family. Came back yesterday, announced to the world that the parliamentary Labour Party, his colleague, think that he cannot lead into the next election. So he listened to them, and based on that, he's going to step aside. So by July, they will now have the contest. If anyone is interested to run for that post, it's open. So only one person now is the king of the north have now expressed interest. So he hasn't had opposition yet. So everybody rallied around him now to be the next prime minister. So this is how British politics works. If you're not good enough, you will have to step aside. And I hope we tie it with Liberia in the conversation later on. Quite interesting.
Quite interesting. That's why I want to bring Mark in. Mark just relate that to Liberia. Of course, we can't compare the same political system. It is different. We got parliamentary electoral process in the UK. That's different from that of Liberia. But let's put it in context. Somebody left his job. He said, look, you know what? In our party, you are not fitting. You are not delivering anymore. You're not making it. 2 years. Election will be taking place in 2029. In the first 2 years, he makes some gains, right? But it's not enough to win more seats. when the kind of right-wing party came in, won a lot of seats, it created fear, triggered fear, it sparked concern that we're going to lose next election if we don't put a proper person that will deliver. That put it in context with Liberia, Mark.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
go on.
Go ahead.
Go on.
No, you
I'm
go.
listening.
You go on.
Go ahead now. Tell me what you think. Compare that and what the situation now with the Barker government, Union Party. If you look at it statistically, there's nothing being achieved. For the past they're going for 6 years. We have 2 years. We into almost 3 years. Nothing tangible has been achieved. Now we are not asking to resolve. What could be what situation could trigger in Liberia could change for the better?
Yeah, it's a little bit tight to make the comparison because the British did run the parliamentarian system of democracy. So it's easier to change a prime minister if things are not working out. For example, you saw the changing of Liz Taylor. You saw that with what you call, I think they had like 3-4 prime minister before Keir Starmer.
They have Cameron, Dave Cameron. They have Dave Cameron. They have what is after Dave Cameron? They have this guy.
Keir is the sixth.
Yeah, the sixth. They have Elizabeth.
No, they have Dave Cameron. They have this guy, Liz Truss. And they have Theresa May.
Boris Johnson. Yeah, David Cameron, that was a long time ago.
He was the first one that left the office. Then Theresa May stepped in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Theresa May stepped in. When Theresa May left, then they brought in Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson left, then they brought in Liz Taylor. Taylor. Then they brought They brought Liz Truss rather. Then they brought Sunak. Richard Sunak. Richard Sunak left. Then they brought in this Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, I've been following for a very good while. I read about him. He's a manipulator. He lies a lot doing a political career. But back to your question when it comes to Liberia, right? So in Liberia, we as Liberian, we don't have the spine or the backbone to look at a candidate who failed during a going election to say, you know what, you are not going to run because your policy make us to lose a few seats within the legislature where we're supposed to have power when it comes to, for example, the president put a proposal or the president is performing badly, and we tell him that, look, we can't have this, you can have this, except you give us this in exchange. For example, when it comes to the budget, right? Let's say ANC, for example, if ANC had like 28 or 30 some more legislators, and then they lost like 8 or 12 seats, and the candidate that caused us or he policy that caused us to lose those 12 seats. Yeah, we're back on. So, for example, let's go to this ANC and those that were held, those that were the cause of us performing poorly. We should have asked them to step aside and have nothing to do with decision making and bring on board new people. But in Liberia, it's kind of difficult. So everything is built around the echelon of the party. Yeah. But I saw Keir Starmer removal long time ago.
Let me drop a quick question to you.
I come in. Something in England, right? So after they left the EU through manipulation of the same Nigel Farage, he's even worse than Keir Starmer. He's a manipulator. So they're going to win few seats, but they're never going to take the prime ministerialship because he manipulated the British people to leave the biggest trading partner, which is the European Union. And then now they're going around manipulating people that they are the party or they call themselves the reform. So Nigel Farage, he also a manipulator. But then Keir Starmer, what he did was, after they left the EU, they have accept someone who is wearing glasses and blind. We deny that. I'm sorry to. I don't mean any insult to. I'm speaking figuratively, or yeah. So after they left the European Union, there were some difficulties in a lot of sectors. The pensioner, the schools, children are having, good meal at school. So all these things have to trigger the bad foreign policy and domestic policy of the Labour government, and they kept pumping money into this Ukraine stuff and not taking care of their own problem, domestic problem at home. So that is one of the main factors. And the next prime minister, if even you get there, you continue the bad foreign policy and not taking care of your domestic policy, that also going to bring the trickling. So in a decade time, we're going to see the first country to change almost, if possible, they're going to change 15 prime ministers before they realize that particular aspect that their foreign policy has cost them a lot. But Jamal, you frozen. But Jamal.
Yeah, I think Jamal frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, you're right. You see the way, and the question Jamal asked, how do we compare that with Liberia? Liberia, where we copy the American system that the three branches are supposed to challenge each other. But in the case of Liberia, they don't. One seems to dominate all. So it's like if Liberia were practicing what they got on paper, like the situation with the Liberia-Guinea border issue that nobody in the country knows, the direct representation of the people, which are the legislature, they don't know what is happening for the people, for them to tell the people what is happening. This is where they're supposed to summon the president, because he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, or the chief of staff, or the defense minister, or the security apparatus to find out what is going on. Because you can have your security briefing, but the situation by this time, the president should be summoned at the house.
Yeah.
So you see, because we don't.
But Brother Paul, what happened in Liberia is that what is happening also in Liberia is that our political system now has become a gangster and kind of a politics in Liberia. So we are not doing according to the paper, as you rightfully said. And the next thing is that a lawmaker can be threatened by the executive branch if you don't do this. This is going to be the repercussion of your action. So, and then what the constituents that person represents, what do they do if he say my life is threatened because of X, Y, Z? You understand? There's no repercussion. The security apparatus that's supposed to come in that is responsible, even if the president is involved in that person one way or the other, feel threatened because of their political, how they call this, view or stand on whatsoever policy or they disagree with the policy of the executive branch, what do they do? The security apparatus, do they come in to investigate, and if it lead to the president and they cause for the president impeachment, the people in the legislature, they don't have that courage. And then our situation is so confusing in the sense that the people that own their government, they don't even understand how their government is supposed to operate. So for that reason, it's like this beautiful woman who has her children, and the father doesn't see the beauty in her, and until he leaves her and other people come around and start to get the beauty out of her, you understand? And just taking the beauty out of her, and the children, they say nothing, their mother is there being taken advantage of. I'm sorry again, I'm just speaking figuratively. So this is the case with Liberia. You got people that are supposed to protect the mother's land. They are not protecting the motherland. So at the end of the day, you're going to have these things happening. Where is Jamal?
Yeah, so, but what I'm trying to say is that, and you already said, the legislature does not have the balls, because if you say you have a system that's supposed to be independent of each other, that will challenge each other, that for the citizen to benefit, because that's the purpose of that system. If you challenge each other, who benefit? The people benefit. In the case of the UK, although it's parliamentary thing, but the opposition challenge the prime minister every day. If the prime minister make any mistake, they will pound on it. Now, they will not take side with him, whether he do or he or she is doing good for the country. As long as the country is happy, that's fine. But the country must enjoy. So there's no room for error. So the least mistake you make, the opposition will lash on you. In Liberia, the opposition is afraid to tell the president that, look, you are incompetent, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Here, the opposition can tell the prime minister, say, you're not good for nothing. If I want you to step down and call general election. In Liberia, we don't have the balls to tell our president that, look, Mr. President, your proceeding is bad. You don't, how do you call it? He's incompetent to run a country. They don't have it in us. So everybody become what? Praise singer to the president. So that's why I said democracy for us, we don't need it. And I stand by my word when I say we don't need democracy in Liberia, because we don't practice what we have on the books. Back to you, Jamal.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Sorry, I got some technical issues, but however, if you just join our this debate on Liberia, we got 6 good topics to discuss tonight. We want to just talk about the what is making news today around the world, the World Cup, and my colleague just talked about that. Mark just spoke about that. We're looking at what is actually happening in the UK today, in the national politics of the UK, United Kingdom, UK to be specific. The Prime Minister 2 days ago announced his resignation, because he's among his own people. His party is saying that he's not capable enough, you should leave before they lose the seat or the election next in the 2029. So we tying that to Liberia. My colleagues are saying, well, opposition has no voice, they got no span, the country is spanless, legislature is eating on the same on this in the candy jar with the same with the ruling party. Now, but then that's it. We'll discuss another that. But gentlemen, let me tell you something. We'll take a quick break, come back, we'll go straight into our topic tonight. Don't go away. Please share the show and be part of the borderline. We are here to talk about Liberia. That's our passion. Stay with us. Quick break, come back. Our national anthem.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that left us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we go tell you. But you screw us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us.
Once again, welcome again. This is World Liberia. Jamal is my name. Paul, the Lord Children, is with us tonight with my good friend Mark Judafar from Sweden. Gentlemen, now tonight we have 6 good topics to discuss. We've got a good thing to talk about. All about Liberia. Paul? Probably we're now on. We're talking about Mark. Help us to read what we have tonight. The topics, sharp topics. Quite interesting. I want to put, if you just join, I'm going to put back the topic we want to discuss tonight. This is it. We have it tonight. Tonight, if you have the time, I want to go through them. You say cocaine probe. Who are Liberia's 10 drug lords? Now, are they connected to the government? And number 2, it will be a maternity hospital. A new hospital kicks off. But who gets rich while mothers still die at the gate? Number 3 will be travel ban on officials. Barker, the President Barker grounds his own ministers. What were they really doing abroad? Number 4 is nurses and flashlights. Liberia has money for Martians, but nurses deliver babies in the dark. Oh my goodness. We have a story to tell. Teenage pregnancy in Liberia, girls dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy. And we have the mining project that's not on the list. I'll tell you that what we got here on the mining stuff. There's a new mining project coming out in Liberia again. Well, we have the King George, which we complain about. No one is covered. $600 million worth of mining projects taking place in Liberia. I'll tell you what is it. Just give me a second. It's right here. It says, what it says. Go ahead, gentlemen. So Mansa Resources unveils 600 million plan to develop Liberia's Dubai Gold Project. Wow. Gentlemen, that's the topic for tonight. Well, you're just coming on. I know you're good to go. We're going to hit on. Let's see what we got. What will be the first one? Gentlemen, it's quite a serious topic tonight, but let's try to do justice to these topics because they are very important. We got to talk about it. We discuss it because it's Liberia. Let's first start with this one. I'll put this one back on. Can we put the cocaine, which is the major news in Liberia right now, the last? Is that okay, or we want to stick on the first one? Because what do you think, guys? Just want to get an opinion on this.
I take it as it is.
We should take it as it is. Okay, right. Mark, we've been talking past 2 weeks now. We've been talking about this cocaine probe, and now the government is saying they have 10 names already on the list, people of interest or persons of interest being called upon. What is your information so far? I know you've been following this story up. What is the information? What is happening right now with this cocaine? Is Liberia turning into another narcotics transit state in Africa? And they're getting attention on the outside world with the investors and other people. What do you think about our situation right now as with these $100 million drug issue was on a George where we have another 50 to, we got another 19 million. We got these small petty drugs being arrested here and there. Another big one, just another bust. What is your story? What do you think what's going on in that country right now?
Yeah, you will take the flyer down.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just give me a few minutes. Go on. Or take it off now. Sorry about that, boss. Let me
Yeah,
go. Just
yeah,
give me a second. I'll pick it up. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, go on.
What is happening in Liberia is very scary, and I don't know how people have much attention or people are paying to this drugs. I would call it pandemic. You understand, because it's not just in one sector of the country; it's everywhere, and it started gradually with different kinds of substance and kush and different names. Now it has gone up to this level of the white girl. You understand? So, and Liberia, as you rightfully said, could become a narcotic state, but currently it's a transit point where drugs are coming in. There was a paper I was reading in Sierra Leone, also our sister country, is also facing the same problem that Liberia is faced with. And there was a ship that they arrested some quantity of cocaine uh, on, and actually our border is very vulnerable between Liberia and Sierra Leone. Guinea, for that matter, Guinea is very tight because of the current government that is in power in Guinea. Military leader turned civilian. So the border with Liberia is tight. The border with Guinea Sierra Leone is tight. The border with Guinea Senegal is tight. So they are very tight. There could be possibility that, but I will not give that even 10%. So Liberia and Liberian should be scared because this going to affect the children to come, and they're going to affect the current population, because once Liberia turn into a narcotic state, then the cartel going to dictate to your government, and by then you will have no government. You have cartel to be ruling you, like what we see in Colombia, that the Colombian had to fight for years before they started having some state of, I would say, some era of safety. A lot of area in Colombia is still ruled by the cartel. So just imagine we don't have that enough security apparatus, and you got some foreign national already in our forest. They are living way, I mean, far in the forest, in the dense area. We don't know what they are doing there. The NSA, we don't know how up on top the game, how up they are on their games when it comes to who are those in the country, and the police, the CID. We don't know how much they are on top of the games. So this is scary, and Liberians should not be silent on this topic. Yeah, Liberians should not be silent on this topic. It's very scary because before I stopped, you saw the $100 million, and that was the most scary part. $100 million on a we are government, and like Brother Paul and I were just having a conversation. Had it been a normal country, right? Because Liberia is not normal. I will tell you this: Liberia is not normal. Because had it been a normal country, and if Liberian were normal, you won't even hear Liberians singing the name that, oh, they want George Weah to come back to power. What the hell are you talking about? This man was in power. There were a lot of, how do you call it, mismanagement of your taxpayer money. A lot of corruption here and there. 6 auditors were killed. Uh, Nothing came out of it. No investigation. People fled the country, and you have $100 million worth of cocaine that came into the country. Who know were the judges that presided over that case threatened? Were their family threatened? by the cartel, say if you don't let our people go, this is what's going to happen to your family. Where some government official threatening, for which those guys they get walk scot-free, we don't know. And then coming to this level now is very, very scary. So with these 10 guys, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I can tell you that because what is happening now, the reason why the government is trying to press the paddle is because with reliable source, and I know from our end on this side that the European, they got some boots on the ground in Liberia, and this has caused some panic or scare to the government's side, for which they decide to investigate. Don't forget, this stuff been around for a very long time since the bust of this 19 million, right? But why is it the government decide to start pressing the button now? You understand? It's because they got the information that the European have boots on the ground, and if it connects to high government officials, they are going to be picked up like flies and taken to secret areas that they're going to be investigated. So for that reason now, they are using the guys as scapegoat. Oh, we're going to have some kind of a like Arthur Jackson case, went to prison at last after murdering somebody's daughter and were let go. So
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, thank you. And I'm sorry for my good friend Isaac Jackson to confuse the two names because I'm so familiar with Isaac. So this could be the same case that these guys, they go to prison and they got the best mattress, they got television in prison, and that'd be the end of it.
Right.
Wow. Paul, quickly, I know you pick on this. How would this go? 237 kilo cocaine. Drug cartel can be very powerful, very powerful. Now look at the military, not that strong enough. You've seen what Haiti is one of the typical examples we've seen around. You see Colombia, many other countries where drug cartel are very powerful. They're taking part over the country. They challenge the government militarily with weapon, good arsenal of weapon. Now look at the story here. 100 million worth of drugs came into Liberia under Dutch leadership. But now this is going out of Liberia. You see the difference there? Support them. How does this go? 10 persons of interest, persons of interest by states ask, how far will this go, Paul?
The thing is, look, Jamal, there's another story in Liberia that will go absolutely nowhere. And why am I saying this? Because from all indication, the big government hands are in it. And when government hands are in something, they tend to find the layman as scapegoat to use it. So that means they will get few persons, put them in prison, and then the nation go quiet. But the drugs situation, as I think there is a drugs depot in Liberia that these people already established, because for them to have the depot, that's why they were able to package things to send from Liberia to another country. So you see what I'm saying? So it's something that we're overlooking, but it's already in Liberia. And who are the people that brought the drugs in? And the layman who packaged the drug may be the one that the government will go after, but the mean person that brought the drugs in, they will leave that person because why? There will be money.
Exchange of hands.
Exactly. So that's what's going to happen. The layman going to suffer. Look, I gave example. The so-called Arsenal attack on the Capitol building, the big names that were called, the big names are still out, but the laymen that they accused, that the laymen stay in prison. You see how Liberia operate? So that similar thing will happen. So the big hands in it, they will not go for the big hands. They will go for the little one to pick on, and then case closed. But until the West decide to put Liberia in the same boat of Colombia, then we'll see some serious action because that's what they're waiting for.
But the thing we can discuss, the market, you can also step if you want. The question, people worry about, we don't have the money. We don't the military, we don't have strong enough militarily. And drugs can be very, very enterprising, where good business drug guys can go and use part of, like Mark just mentioned. Most of our forest areas being taken over by foreigners. If you look at Grand Cru, Grand G, there, other key areas, Sano, even other area, that whole southeastern region, it's been most people coming from the park. We don't know what they're doing in those hard forests. They are there. And that could be another position. I'm not saying that's what's happening right now. The citizens in that area have been complaining that there are people roaming around the country. They are not from Liberia. They are there. The immigration is not telling us what's the story. About more than 60,000 are already in that area. Could be exaggerating the numbers. We spoke about this on this platform. Other foreigners are there. Portion of our country could be used by drug lords to take over and do the supply and challenge the government military. That could happen if we don't take this. You don't think this is something? There's a potential of this thing happening, Paul? Because we weak. We look at what's happening with Liberia, and when they threaten not to move onto our soil, Guinea soldiers moving there. That's going to be 3-4 months now. Nothing happened. Okay, we say we don't have the military. We got 2,000 soldiers. When any government official speaks about that, you got fire, or you ask you to be, they petition you. Now the drugs is taking over the country. How forests we have, gentlemen? Those guys can go into the forest and take and do something.
Jamal,
yes,
that's a good question. They can take over Liberia easily. The reason being on this, hold on. Yeah, Mark, my PC go or me charge it quickly. Mark,
that's the issue of you just mentioned about the high forest, and looking at the power the drugs cartel, the drug laws have. Now, with these things happening, it's continuously going on. I mean, those cases have not been seen. Those cases coming off fine. They all die easily. So there's a possibility. Yeah, there's a possibility of they having some power in our country and trying to challenge the government of today.
Yeah, I have said this before, even before the drugs issue, that the way that foreign nationals enter the country, free travel according to this ECOWAS or EU, free passage, something that they all came together and signed up to. But it doesn't mean it doesn't mean permanent stay in a man country. In order for you to stay in a man country permanently, if you're from the ECOWAS bloc or from another EU country, that they have this agreement, bilateral agreement, but there will be some sort of requirement or requisite you have to meet up with in order for you to reside in a man country permanently. And this is where Liberians are not taking things serious, because a man come into your country, he falls in love with your sister after 1 week or 2 weeks. He impregnate your sister. That doesn't make him to be legal in your country. And people say this nonsensical stuff that, oh, they got children, or they have children, or they have a child by your sister. And so in other countries, you stay illegal because you did not go through the rightful requisite in order for you to stay in the country. And then come into the drugs issue now, which is the scary part, okay? Our people love money. These guys could gather, and in all these counties where you have maybe 7 police officers, some of the police officers, they barely have handcuffs. Some of them buy their handcuffs privately. I watched the case of a DEA officer, I think it was somewhere in Ganta, who was assaulted by his boss, and he was explaining that he had to buy a handcuff to give to one of his colleagues. Just imagine, okay? Then think about drugs cartel, because our country is vulnerable. These guys can come with huge, I know about weapons, okay? Come with huge supply and use canoe to go on a deep sea and get these things and settle somewhere in one of these counties around the coastal area. And we don't have the people are seeing some of these things, and the security apparatus, they sit in Monrovia, they barely follow up these stocks. So there's a possibility, Jamal.
Okay. Paul, go back to your question. Our security, Paul, I want to bait this up so you can go on. You just mentioned something about I want to re-echo that. We have weak system. We like money. Our security apparatus, the agencies are underpaid. Those drug laws can put on the paycheck, on the salary, and get them into the system and use it and get the job done. What do you think, Paul?
But the thing is easy, Jamal. We have government officials that we get money from concessionaires, and what happened? They pocket it for few hundreds of dollars. The whole nation suffer. So could you imagine a drugs cartel come in, know that our people are so greedy, they are greedy hunter, give them some capital, they accept it, move their bases into Liberia, and then what happened? We can get them out because we get people that don't love Liberia, that always set in Liberia. This is the situation we face with. You see, if you look at the B Mountain situation, they gave you few millions of dollars, and no God take trillions of dollars off. What kind of sense in it? This is Liberia we're talking about. The people don't love, the people who make the decision for us don't love Liberia. And this, so it's possible that as we speak now, there is a drugs warehouse in Liberia. So how did the drugs get into Liberia? That is the question. What the warehouse is doing in Liberia, who brought, because cocaine is not manufactured, it's not planted in Africa, it comes from South America. So how come now we're packaging cocaine to send to Europe? So that means the cartel already have penetrated the system. They observe Liberia to know that Liberia is a weak spot militarily, security-wise. We don't have it. So it's easy to give these greedy hunters few little thousands of dollars that they will keep their mouth shut and then will operate from Liberia. That's what's happening now. The government is aware of what is going on.
Even Asia, don't rule out Asia.
Yeah.
We talking about South America, but don't rule out Asia.
That's
don't
right.
Rule out Thailand, don't rule out Cambodia, don't rule out Laos. Yeah, these are territories that manufacture. Even Afghanistan, don't rule Afghanistan out.
Yeah,
where you have even Pakistan, don't rule Pakistan out.
And remember, there are a lot of Pakistani and
I was just going that direction. I was just going that direction. Where you have Liberian don't know the difference between Pakistani and India.
Yeah.
And even India also they have drugs cartel in India. And where you have this guy, what they call Seti, who brought in a lot of Indians that permanently resided in Liberia. So Liberia has become a state without government. Yeah. Because
you're right, guys. This is a scary thing we're talking about. Like we're talking about the goal, because like Mark mentioned that our system is so weak, and our staff, security officers are underpaid. Even the civil servants are underpaid. Drug cartels, drug laws can put them on full salary, and they have taken Liberian pay regime is like $200 maximum. The guys can put those officers on $500 every month. That does not even include their benefits, and that can take the whole security system. And what is that? The system is turning into a complete drug cartel, and you cannot, if once that's infiltrating to a security apparatus, you can't get them out anymore.
The first thing you talk about just 500. Those guys can spend $2,000 because the country become a drugs herb, okay, where they make millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and they won't mind giving somebody maybe $1,000, and then every day giving you a couple of chicken change here. And that person become a sellout on their own government. Oh, chief, boss, even a minister calling a drugs law or a drugs dealer, these things, they sell the country. They sell the country for little or nothing. Yeah, the country is being sued.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Just imagine a Nigerian guy came into Liberia and got how many oil concession? These
for 10,000. You wouldn't give him 10,000.
Yeah, for $10,000. So how much you think that guy spent? Okay, and these things that went before this sharp mouth lawmaker talking tongue and stuff, and they went over these documents instead of rejecting them, because before the president signed these concessions, he sent them to the legislature for some ratification or for some approval. And the legislature, they had the power, okay? They had the willpower to say, look, this concession is not in the interest of the country. We're not going to sign it. If the 103 lawmakers and 60 say we are not signing this, trust me, the executive branch cannot sign that concession. If they sign that concession, the president will be called, the foreign minister will be called, and if possible, it will require a removal. Those guys will get together and cook the book where they find the loophole that you violated the Constitution. But these people, they are not living according to, one thing I like about the how you call the Magna Carta, right? And the three treaties of government by John Locke. If you go through these books and stuff, what make the people to be powerful in England, for example, that they remove their government, they don't take nonsense. They remove the prime minister, they don't take nonsense. It came from the Magna Carta and the three treaties of government. You understand? That's what the British people, they enjoy today, and they become a role model across Europe. The same thing in France. When you mess up, they say, my friend, you have to go, you have to go. And you cannot impose yourself on them. The next thing you find homeland coming for you, you become an embarrassment to your family.
Guys, thank you very much. On that note, so Paul, you want to still come on this? We can move to the next topic, because the drugs thing is going to be a major news in Liberia throughout the week, because what we just said, our system is very weak. We don't have the means to stop these guys from coming. If we can get the drugs being exported out of our country, then it's easy to bring it in. So we must have some kind of little bit hub somewhere. So much to package it is how did they get into the country? We're not looking at that. We're looking at how they get.
Brother Paul, can I borrow a few seconds? And don't be surprised. We that live in Europe, visiting Liberia, going to be very risky for us. You are visiting a country being declared, if we fall on that black list, being declared as a drugs trafficking country. I just want to add that.
Yeah, okay. Jamal, the thing I wanted to add up on the whole situation here, the warehouse that the drugs came from, the people that send the drugs to the airport, the government refused to investigate the warehouse where it came from, but they're going after airport security that received the consignment. So what does that tell you? Why can you go to the warehouse to find out how many quantity of drugs they have?
Land,
exactly.
Who own our property?
Yeah.
Who gave that property to these people?
To be able
the contract, okay? These are things you're supposed to start out with. If possible, that person is supposed to be arrested.
See? So the guy who's shaping it, they ignore him. But the receiver is the one that's in trouble. What does that tell you about Liberia?
So, but who owns these drugs? That's a big question.
That's the thing. There was a company, or logistic company in Liberia owned by some Paul King and his brother. And the brother have to be one of them who is on the board of NOCA, one of the director of, but who is not Joseph Burkhardt, man. They
kind of suspended him.
Yeah. So why can they investigate? Because it came from them. But now they're going after the layman on the airport.
Yeah, but don't forget there's something at the National Port Authority. These people could send these drugs on a container with some high level government official and say this belongs to government official. and you cannot open that container, and that container just pass right through the gates of the port.
I agree with you, but now they play the new where it came from. But the people who send the package, they refuse to arrest the people.
Exactly.
So what a logic in there. So Jamal, this is where we are.
And so there's this guy from South America. His picture is circulating on the internet. Seems to be the most powerful person to say in West Africa. He's he knows about these drugs. And Sierra Leone and Liberia, they're not even talking about how can we bring the guy into question. I think they say he lives in Sierra Leone. Yeah, probably.
That's good. Jamal, you muted.
The thing about it is like this drug thing will not go away because it's scary. I think we will keep discussing. This is our third or fourth time discussing on this platform. If you just join all this about Liberia, Jamal Kamara is my name. Got my good friend Paul DeLoche here with me from London, as well as a good friend from stay in Studios B, Mark Judah in Stockton, Sweden. Guys, we are discussing Liberia tonight, and with major news in the headline was the cocaine in Liberia. We don't produce cocaine, and we are exporting it. That's a very big question. But then, how are we going to get there? How far does this go? We can't answer the question. So, if you have a question, answer. Please drop your comment. We'll if we got a chance, we're going to read it, and we will know what you think. Let's know what you think. Now, tonight we'll be looking at. Let me get this one out of the way, gentlemen. The drug stuff out of there. If you just joined, we want you to also share the show, please. We want to make sure we discuss it. We want to make the program interactive. But the next topic tonight will be, gentlemen, will be another one we want to look into. Mark talked about it. Mark brought this to my attention. Another $600 million gold project is taking place in Liberia under a company called Mansa, MANSA, Mansa Gold Project taking place in Dubai very soon. I don't know where Dubai is, but guys, I will bring this up here. You tell me what you think. We already have something like King George in Cape Town. We're struggling. They're taking drugs. Gold out of our country, making billions of dollars every month. And now another one is coming up. But then the question is, how do they vet these companies? What are the benefits to Liberia? Who benefit from these concessions? I'll go to Mark. Then I'll put the picture up, the image up. So Mark will take on Paul. You can follow up. Mark finishes. Let me see what I got here on this topic and in terms of the image. So Mark will get an idea what I'm trying to talk about here. Let me see. It's a Go project. What is it? Okay. I have a B mountain here first, right? No, that's not B mountain. B mountain is the. Let me see what I got here, guys. All right. Okay. Anyway, Brother Mark, you can continue. Then I'm looking for the image so you can able to talk about it. Tell me what you think about the $600 million gold project. The president has commissioned. He will be coming up in Liberia very soon. $600 million. We got a couple of gold projects in the country already. We're struggling to understand for the citizens to benefit. Cape Town is one of the typical example. Now, another one is coming up. What do you see this? What is happening to this government? What's happening to it? Is this like insulting intelligence of Liberian, or what is happening? We're not benefiting from the previous. We're not benefiting from the previous one. Another one is coming up again, and there's another one. So who's benefit from these projects or the concessions signing?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. In my previous statement, that's what say indirectly that the people that own their government, okay, every government official work for all Liberians, and the Liberian people themselves, they don't understand what government is and what the responsibility of the government should be, and how they, the people, should be first prioritized. And foreigners just come in the country, and the foreigners are on the playing field while the Liberians are not even on the fence to look at what is taking place. So for that reason, you have these. You have the Beer Mountain, the China Mountain, the Asala Meta in the country. Right. They are all digging gold from the country. One is acting in the mining sector. So, and you giving each of these people always is 25 years, 25 years, 25 years.
Mhm.
So 25 years, how much billion this person going to be getting just for $600 million? Can't you find a $600 million yourself and look for technicians? There are a lot of technicians out there. Some are pensioners that you could bring into the country and work with local library geologists and
Mhm.
or technician and dig your own gold, but instead for $600 million and you're given 25 year. I read something like that. If it's the same, yeah, I think Mensa. So when you
Yeah.
send what you call this something up, then I went through it. I'm like, for 25 years, just imagine $600 million for 25 years. But what they didn't disclose is that
Mhm.
how much gold are they going to be digging every year. So that should tell you that the whole thing is somehow fishy. And if you go
Mhm.
before the lawmakers, 25 years, yeah, but for how much are they going to be digging from the ground? You understand? And
Right.
how much does Liberia have on the dollar? You understand? Is it 50 cent on the dollar, 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it 30 cent on the dollar? Or is it going to be business as usual that Liberia get 3 cents on the dollar and the, how they call it, said the so-called investor, they get 97 cents on the dollar. So these things, and the county in which they're going to be moving in, which is in the southeast, uh, I think the people in the counties now, it's time that they reject their lawmaker if he's not bought like a cheap donor that is on the street that anybody can buy. Yeah, because that's how I describe some of these guys. They have become like a cheap donuts. You understand? Those
Mhm.
donuts without no enough ingredient that is being sold on the street, and anybody who can just take free of charge. So they should be able to, if they have the courage, tell the people that I went through this document, I read this document. These people that are coming to our county, they are coming to exploit the county, and the county is not going to benefit from this particular concession. So for that reason, I'm calling on everybody in the county that we should protest the operation of this particular company in the county. And that will send a message to our government to not sign these kind of stupid concession, I call them, that doesn't benefit the people of the country and the people of those counties.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, the thing is about it didn't tell us exactly where this gold area is going to be. I followed the
It's in
story.
Sano County.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't. I picked that up now. It's going to be in
Yeah,
southeast.
I think it's in Bokonjide.
Oh, Bokenji, they call it Mansa. A little bit of background of the company that's coming up. It's called the Mansa Resources. Is Dubai registered mining company, but it has a link with a guy from Burkina Faso, and this guy is called Idrissa Nassa. He's a founder of the Coris Bank International. In one of the so he's one of the most influential financiers of this business, and through investment he's going to be like the question is, the question we have a due diligence
And,
is
and,
out.
and, and let me tell you a little bit of this guy. This
Okay.
guy, they are kicked out. These are a group of people that are kicked out of the Burkina Faso, and they are looking for a new territory. And they are one of the people that cause instability in the. If you've been investigating what happened in Sudan today and in Somalia, these are people, the emirate, they are very known for that, for destabilizing these two countries, what you call Sudan, Somalia, and everywhere they have gold. The emirate, this is not a country that have gold. In fact, they mislead people like the emirate have gold. There's a desert country. How can someone in the desert have gold? They don't have gold, but they go to other countries, they destabilize these countries, and then pay the warlord to extract gold from these countries, and they are being shipped to the emirate. There are a lot of documentary, there are a lot of books on this particular stuff I'm telling you when it comes to the emirate. So a company coming from the emirate Liberians should be very, very scary and mindful, because we have people already living in our forest that is recognized under the UNICEF to be one of the most beautiful and reserved forests in West Africa, and if possible in Africa. So our government doing business with some people that just get together and come in the country in the name of investors. We need to investigate these people as to where they are coming from and what their intention really is. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, you think the problem we have, Paul? You see that the Key Joel and other concessions that was signed. It's out of greediness, or I don't know what they say, out of that our government or authorities concerned don't conduct sufficient due diligence for these companies to serve the long interests of our people. What you see happening again of people of southeastern Liberia, that this 600 million, we got companies that have invested billions of money goes in our country. Various countries are not benefiting. I mean, typical example, Paul, is Cape Mount. King George is there, billions of dollars being extracted every month. And the people of go see Cape Mount. It's a very sorrowful county. Yeah, the schools, the hospitals, the St. Timothy hospitals in Robertsport, the villages around, the environmental disaster by the mining companies are putting on those areas is unexplainable. So, but now tell me about this another gold mining company coming in Southern Sudan. What will you tell the people of Sando County, like my brother just said, people that are going to benefit Bukonjile or whoever the area is going to be, and the representatives are going to talk to the people? What do you think should be putting forward on the table?
Jamal and Brother Mark, Liberia problem is a big problem. The people of Sano will not benefit anything. Handful of people will get their cut, and the people of Sano are going to suffer. You see, when we don't have good leaders, Liberia problem is leadership. Guinea just announced that no raw material of gold will leave Guinea. They may just announce.
Yeah.
That means they must process everything in Guinea. Exactly. In Liberia, because we lack of, how they call it, innovation to create job for young people, didn't know how to do it. So the Emirate will come and say, okay, they have done their research. They know the tons of gold that underneath. The Liberia geology may not even have a clue, but they gave you chicken change, and then in the next 10 years, they are taking trillions of dollars all of your country for chicken change. You see where Liberia is heading? This is the problem Liberia has. We don't have leaders. A country that have more master degree holder than the citizen or the Gambia, but we don't have common sense to code logic. How can this benefit our people?
You got more doctor degree than half of Gambia population.
That's the point. So what does that tell you about Liberia? Something just not right with Liberia. And
question is that Mark just told me the bottom line. What if you are part of the people from Sando? What will you tell them? What will you tell if you have to meet this company or the government? What will you tell them so the people of that particular area will benefit from this particular project?
But I just tell you, the people, you can't tell them anything, because what happened in the same Sando, if you hear about Golden Ferrinian, the palm oil company that is there, they're getting huge billions for that place. The people in Sano, they're not benefiting from it. But those guys, they get 25 years contract.
In which they're supposed to open up a soap processing factory to produce soap and export across West Africa. They're supposed to be able to make toothpaste from the same soap, the palm oil. There are a lot of things you get from that palm oil, okay? And to produce in Sano County and in Liberia and export. But instead, we sell the whole stock. For example, like what Somalia used to do to the same Emirate, the Qatar, the Kuwait. Somalia used to be a very rich country when it comes to camel, and these people they eat camel meat. So they come to Somalia, instead of a Somali man saying that, oh yeah, we are not going to sell you the whole stock, but instead it's going to be 50-50. We kill, we clean, and you do the packaging on us, or we kill, we clean, and we do the packaging, and you do the distribution on your end. To create joy is a 50-50 win. Other than that, you're not carrying my camel nowhere. Yeah. Other than that, you're not carrying my palm oil nowhere. You're not going to take palm oil from this country. If you're not going to open a toothpaste factory, if you're not going to open a soap factory so that we can sell or export outside Liberia, you're not going to take the palm oil anywhere. If you're not going to open a mining processing, a gold processing factory, in order for us to be able to sell gold, we don't want money from you, but we want certain percentage of the gold for us to sell, that Mr. Cummings rightfully said. And Liberians are not listening to call them men 1%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me stop you there, Mark. Let me just say something here. Paul, this is something serious. I want to be very critical here. The companies that are coming into the country, they are telling you due diligence. They'll put the process through the government. Okay, you need to do this for our citizens. You need to do this. Then, if I'm a company, if I'm from the Mansa Resource Project, you are telling me, Mark is telling me, this county or this particular village or town need to receive this particular amount of money. I put it forward. Who is a representative? Bring a representative. I give it to you. I gave you everything that you need. We signed in the contract. We made the MOU. Is that my responsibility right now to follow up? Is that not your representative that should be making sure your people benefit?
Brother Juma, in the first place, these companies that come to Liberia, they are not responsible to even build. I mean, it's very nonsensical when I hear, Brother Paul, sorry, I'm getting a little bit upset because.
Well, I know this is, say your mind. This is what we are here for.
Yeah, because of the stupidity from Liberian politicians. Okay, the thing here is that these companies that come to Liberia, they are not responsible to build you school, to build you toilet, to build you hospital or clinics. They are not responsible. That is why you should be able to sign a good concession that will benefit your people and that money be distributed across the country. And for you to build hospitals, adequate hospitals, for you to build adequate schools, for you to provide adequate drinking water for your people, for you to provide adequate medical care for your people, for you to provide everything that your people need, for you to build your infrastructure. Okay, these people are not there. They are not supposed to be the one to build your infrastructure. If you had a responsible father, he will know what the children need. He will know what the mother need. But because you have an irresponsible father that doesn't know that when at the end of the day, he's supposed to sell early labor, like Adam Smith said, for a good wage, and then be able to provide for his family. But you have a father, a lazy father that doesn't know what he has and is sell it for cheap, and then take the money and become a alcoholic. That's what Liberia is going through.
Okay, Paul, this is a good question. Paul, I'll take you back. In consensus, they call social responsibility by companies. Mark, you come by, you answer this question. Paul, I want to take you. This is your term. Every company, let's do a research. Quick statistics here. How many Western companies, consensus companies, are in Liberia? 99.9%. I come in, boss. 99.9% are from Asia or Middle East. Now, you know why did most of them, I understand from my research, that because social responsibility is not, if they want to do social responsibility, they are responsible to make sure the environmental conditions have been observed. They make sure the people in that area got good living conditions, they got well paid, but the government officials or the community representatives are taking the money. Now, this is why most of the Western countries will not go to Liberia, because the way we treat our own people. Yeah, they gave you, Paul is giving me the money now as a man who coming from Asia to come invest in the country. But the Chinese, the Asian, and other people, don't get me wrong, they don't care how you treat your people. But American will say, we want you to treat your people this way before we give you money. If you don't do that, we're going to withdraw. The Englishman will do the same thing. The other people, the Westerner will do
I'm
the
gonna
same.
disagree with you on this particular.
Okay, then you'll come back to agree. That's why I make competition. Okay, Paul, what do you think? Social responsibility by companies. My brother said that they are not responsible to build hospitals and schools for us, but they also have a responsibility to make sure the social welfare or well-being, they are committed to that as a company, right?
And that's it's absolutely true. And I can give you maybe 3 or 4 companies back in the days. Lamco, they were taking mineral, but they also had that social responsibility for the employees. You see it? That's why when the way they built Lamco, people went to Lamco, they were shocked.
And a serious company, though. Serious American company.
BF Goodrich, people went on our side. I just gave you that. The Firestone that took 100-year contract, although they didn't do well, but they also had that thing with Firestone. So, Bond Mines, they also have the German company, they have something they're responsible for.
Walmart schools and other stuff. Things are better off compared to most companies now from Asia.
Yeah. So, since the war, the companies are coming in now, they're only coming to rip you apart and they don't care for your social well-being.
And they support your own government official to kill you.
Exactly.
Paul, give chance to Mark. Mark say disagree. Mark, come on with your point, please. Tell me why you disagree.
Poor man was dusted like it is today. The Lamco was dusted as it is today. The Mana River, the company that are in Mana River, they were dusted as it is today. They built a 2-tight room. They put our people in it.
No, you went to Lamco back in the days?
I come in. I went to Lamco besides the junior and senior staff area where the employee were living. It was dusted. The only thing those people were enjoying, they go to the hospital, the clinic that they built for them. They go to that clinic, and the next thing they were enjoying electricity. They connected to some of that TV. They say were coming from Germany. But Jamal, those days, Jamal, those days, our eyes were closed, and hundreds of billions of dollars were leaving Liberia. I can tell you. I live in Sweden. I know what they benefited from Liberia. We are talking on the internet. I have done research on this Swedish government that was in Liberia. Do you know Sweden become one of the highest iron ore the iron seller, steel rod seller in Europe? Okay, that built most of the railway that you see in Europe. So Sweden provide the steel for the infrastructure in Europe. I can tell you that because of the iron ore that they were taking from Liberia. Do you know America? Most of the iron ore that were taken from Liberia, because Lamco was a Swedish-American company. Then later on, I can't remember the part, because you try to praise these people.
No, it's not praise, it's a question, because the question Jamal asked,
these people exploited us more than even now.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing about the exploitation, but the fact is that they took huge money, but they were also that social responsibility for the employees. They did that. What is Metal Steel that taking all of the? What have they done? That's the question Jamal is asking. Look at Golden Foreigner is in Sano. What are they doing for the people of Sano? Even if you're taking billions of dollars, how does the people benefit? None.
Yeah, I can tell you, in Sweden here we have other foreign companies that come to Sweden. They are not responsible for social activity, to contribute to the social activity. You know why? Because the Swedish government is a responsible government. The Swedish government know what to do for its citizens. They are not waiting for foreign investors to come. The investor come here, they know what tax they're supposed to get out of you to take care of wheresoever you go. You're going to do, how they call it, do your investment. And they have, how they call it, environmental inspectors that make sure that you don't pollute those areas. So there are foreign companies in
So
Sweden.
who is feeding us, Mark? Is a government, our people in the government feeding us? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, the government is failing us, and our people don't know actually what the government responsibility is. So for that reason, when a political party win election in Liberia, the citizen, they are loyal to the government instead of the government being loyal to its citizen. Okay, then it become a partisan. Then it become a partisan government instead of a government of the.
Don't you think
For the
it's an
all.
issue of this dependency syndrome where you got into the job and everybody government become the major employer, and the only way to get the people will keep everybody off the rail, I mean the air. So I provide, if I'm the one that find a job, you got to contact Jamel. If you don't talk pre-sync me, you don't find anything from me. Don't you think the system has been going on for ages in our country?
Yeah, it's been said before, in order for you to exploit the majority, you have to keep them in the darkness.
So
Jamal, check your WhatsApp, please.
right. All right then, guys. Quickly, that's a what if you just joined this point, Liberia, Jamal Kamaris, my new colleague, is here from Sweden. Mark Judafar.
I can tell you for sure. You have the VOA in Liberia, you had the Firestone in Liberia, you had the Bomb Mines Company in Liberia, you had the Lamco Yekepa in Liberia, you had the Coca-Cola company in Liberia, you had the how you call the one in Manoroa, how they call them again? I think LMC. Okay, you had it in that place. Then you have how they call, you had the logging companies in the southeast. You have more than 20 different companies in Liberia, man.
Okay,
right. And Liberia was so dusty.
Thank you. All right, we want to move to another topic tonight. That was we're discussing, I know, 600 million investment gold projects coming up in Sano. So my colleagues were telling me, what do you think about it, Paul? We think every company has a social responsibility, but we also, other people think, my colleague also contend that, look, whatever the case is, government, our people should be able to be responsible for their own development, so depending on the concessions or company to look after us. So if you just join us, this is the one in Liberia. This is the place we discuss Liberia. We say it the way we want to say it. We just think we discuss Liberia, and it's our passion. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, we'll go to our topics. We got a couple of topics, we want to go through them quickly so we can meet up time. We've been here like an hour and a half right now. We should be at the time, but I'm going to quickly through them, and I'll take a quick break, come back, and then we'll discuss the rest of the topic. Stay with us, share the show. Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for discussing that topic. That was a good one. Good discussion. Right now, what we have here tonight, we discussed the cocaine. We discussed the gold mine company. We also got a couple of topics we want to discuss here. We want to talk about new maternity hospital coming up in Duporo. The wife of the president, First Lady, launched or kind of embarked or did a groundbreaking ceremony for new maternity hospital in Liberia. And the question is now,
is it Duporo or Oro?
It's all Duporo or Oro, right? Whatever the case is, that like it's still in Monrovia. But then the question is, let me put it up here. What is this? The question is, new maternity hospital. Let me give it large. Like new hospital kicks off, but who gets rich while mothers stay there at the gate? What is this? Is like people go to the hospitals. The pregnant women in labor go to the hospital. If they don't pay money, sometimes they don't be allowed to have a medical attention. And from these entrance at the gate, some have been left there. They have been left to struggle. Sometimes most of them can survive it. That has been the case in Liberia. So what happened here that we want to see one new maternity hospital. We got one already in Monrovia. If it could be done, next place could have been where we have where we are a little bit densely populated places like I don't know, Kakata, whatever, Ganta, whatever. We don't have only one major maternity hospital in Liberia, in Monrovia, called Japanese Maternity Hospital. Now the second one, gentlemen, second maternity hospital in Monrovia again, and we have understaffed, unequipped, Now, I mean, that's the situation of our medical centers in Liberia. Now the government is coming up with a new one. Is that a good idea, or is something that we should applaud?
Jamal, anything regarding medical facility, we should give them thanks for the thought, because Liberia is only two things that are no Liberian government capable of doing. No, three things. Apart from the three things, nothing else.
Road?
They will build market, they will build roads, and they will build hospital. But then the hospital, there'll be no equipment. Those are the three things that I know. So the doctor degrees holder in Liberia, the master degree holders in Liberia, they're the only thing they know. So I don't know, they'll be breaking ground until we have an earthquake in Liberia, because most of the groundbreaking that does not make sense. To even put a police boot or the president got to go do groundbreaking. If you want to do something, JFK, Redemption Hospital, those hospitals are supposed to be referral hospital, right? So each of those districts supposed to have those maternity on the at least center for all of those districts. You can't wake up one morning and say, look, send drugs business in the town, let divert the attention from these people and say, we'll come in, do groundbreaking to build maternity hospital. The president told $10 million to build a house in 4 years. That $10 million could cover a lot of places all around the 17th district in Monserrato County. The people are not far-sighted. That's the problem here we face. You see?
So you think it's a diversion here?
The other thing is a diversion.
Okay.
The same place they do the groundbreaking there, the 14th military hospital is there. Why can't they just add the maternity unit there? No equipment is in that 14th military hospital. I mean, I just don't get it.
Right. Mark, quickly, look at this. The hospital is there.
One more thing, Jamal. One more thing.
Sorry. Go on.
In the same area, the former Ministry of Health, she has a hospital called Hope, which is a maternity hospital that is just in the same area. And then you have ELWA also on the same side. So it's all like one area. You get part of hospital that doing the same thing. I mean, Mark.
Mark, is this a progress or politics? Because Paul just said it. From the Ellen to Wea to to Joe Boakai. Now, Ellen, the hospital, road, hospital, nothing more. Now you come to came to this guy, George Weah. George Weah, market, sports centers, hospital. Then at least he based some units, some hospital unit somewhere else. He did one of those. I think he went away a little bit, build unit, hospital unit. Now the old man Boakai doing the same thing. There's a Redemption Hospital being the new one is being almost completed. Now his own project is starting now. It's called A Wife Just Launched or ground broke a new maternity hospital in Monrovia again. Is this a progress or politics? And the one we have, they are not maintained. They're not staffed. What do you think it is?
Is fallacy and fallacy.
I like that word.
Yeah,
go on.
Fallacy and fallacy. Because these are spineless people that don't know even before taking power, they have not drawn their checkerboard or their chessboard to say, before going to power, this is what the country need and this is what we are going to do. They have not done their survey as to what to prioritize the first year, the second year, the third year, but they are all over the place like chicken that pick from one end to another and scratch from one end to another. Confused group of people at the end of the day, they won't realize, and the citizens themselves are very confused. They cheer for nonsense and they call these things development because their government and themselves are all over the place. They're like a cut head chicken that doesn't know the head is cut, or like the king who is naked and doesn't know he's naked until a little child say, oh, look at the baby butt naked. You understand? So that's the kind of country we find ourselves. That's the kind of people we find to be leading Liberia. Because had it been people that were responsible, they would know before taking power, this is what we need to do. This is the area we need to focus on first, the first year, the next year. This is the other area we need to focus on. And in your third year, people will see that you are making huge progress. So let's say, for example, the Southeast, right? This country, you divide the country into 4 different regions. Okay, you got the Eastern Bloc, you got the Southern Bloc, you got the Northern Bloc, and you got the the Western Bloc. You understand? Now, if you decide to say, okay, the first year, what the country need, now our people are dying, we are going to put $500 million into Medicare. You understand? We put $100 million hospital in the Southeast, in the East, the same in the West, the same in the North, and the same in the in these different areas that I named, right? And then you move on the same with university. When I mean hospital that will give adequate treatment. And as you put this hospital down, you should also be able to put a clinic within 10 minute walls of every mother. Okay? How much for you take to build a 10-bedroom clinic and turn it into a clinic? And you got different, you got area where they go for blood testing, where they do different kinds of these things. Sometimes you find the materials on the market, medical equipment on the market for little or nothing. Then you buying a lawmaker cars every 3 years, $75,000 every 3 years. You can buy a testing a machine for $50,000 or $35,000. That group of people in a county, when they sick, they will go there for blood testing. You understand? Even there are doctors you can bring out of the country, Cuban doctor, Indian doctor, Pakistani doctors, you understand, to come and train Liberian where they have this hospital. At the end of the first year, you will make effort. The same thing, the country suffering for road. Okay, how much to build the roads between these counties to connect all these counties? You understand? How much to build the road? You do your survey, you come up with the money, you have that problem solved. The next year, you move on to the next thing, which area you want to invest in. That's how a responsible government would behave. Okay, but these guys, they came to power out of imagination, and out of imagination, they are acting like chicken jumping all over the place.
If that's done on the top, Paul, I go to you quickly, take a quick break, then come back, we'll discuss the last topic. So if you just join on the screen is the Dr. Luis, I think Luis Poto is the Liberian Health Minister. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Liberian Health Minister with the new building on Dupo Road, Maruba. They said landmark on Dupo Road Maternity Hospital. So we think it's much more of a diversion, a much more politics here. It doesn't make any impact here. Too many hospitals, no staff, no equipment. Staff are underpaid, nothing happening. The country is in a big mess. No direction, as my colleague said. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have no agenda. They're just there playing game with us. We'll take a quick break, come back, we'll discuss the last topic tonight, and we want you to still be with us. This is the Boy on Liberia. Jamal Kamaris Mani. Be with you in a second.
In a world drowning in noise, where sound bites replace substance, there's a voice cutting through the chaos. Audience with the Lord Chola Play conversation, where Liberians and global citizens tackle the questions we're afraid to ask. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. UK and Liberian time, and 9 p.m. Central European time, Audience with Lord Chola Play. On the Bottom Line, Liberia explores the issues that keep you up at night. Democracy's future in the age of misinformation. Economic systems that serve people, not just profits. Technology reshaping our lives. Reconciliation, development, and the crisis of meaning in modern Liberia. No easy answers, no tribalism, just intellectual courage, genuine curiosity, and the willingness to wrestle with complexity together. This is for Liberians who refuse to shrink their thinking, who believe nuance is wisdom, who are ready to remember how to think, not just what to think. Audience with the Lord Cholo Play Show. Sunday, 8 p.m. Liberian time. Subscribe now. Join the conversation on the Bottom Line Liberia, because the questions that matter most are the ones we're brave enough to ask.
Yes, don't forget to join the Lord Children Play on Sunday to discuss audience with the Lord Children Play. And before that, I guess our colleague Francis Mundamens will be here on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Saturday with the story. I hope he's in. He's been away for a little while on some personal trip out of the country. But in any case, the Lord himself will be available on Sunday. The Lord audience with the Lord Children Play. Tonight, gentlemen, we have a serious issue here. We're just discussing about Liberia. We were just discussing about hospital bill. Now, there's another sad story, human interest story, happening in Bond County, where we saw that young nurses, the babies have been delivered in darkness with torchlights and telephone mobile lights. When our president Ben Pojo said $6 million worth of property in Lofa, where you don't have anybody after if you retire, you're not going to live there. And we've seen a lot of these unattended homes from the past president, past leaders. Now we have people in various clinics in Bond County. We just got reported. They're doing deliveries in the dark. So, gentlemen, so what is the need of the hospitals? Like, I know I almost like repeating the same question. Is it not is this something we're not giving priority to? I want to go back to what Mark just said. They're not prioritizing the real issue. They're just trying to put politics of our life. Is that so, Paul?
It is indeed, because the thing is, you have Eddie who did roles, we are King he did roles, and he did hospital. So the next person who come in now, the empty hospitals are there. I will put equipment. I will bring people to get this hospital functioning. But instead of that, they're building something that they will not even put equipment in. So it doesn't make sense. So now you're going to do groundbreaking, but then people in the rural area delivering babies in what we call using torchlight. So why can you invest that money in electricity or solar system there that they do stop using torchlight? I mean, what we misplace things that I don't know, man. This is just
and I will jump into that immediately, Brother Paul. Let me retrospect you a little bit when it comes to a beautiful building that the late President Samuel Doe built, which was the Defense Ministry, right?
Ellen broke
that building down is because it had a hallmark of Samuel Doe, which that building could have been turned into a hospital or a vocational training center for a lot of young graduates. And this is the same pattern with all government. Once Paul did something to me and I succeed Paul, that means whatsoever that Paul was doing in the interest of the country, it should not be a continuation. Forgetting to know that government is continuation. And these are things that these boogers, they nickapoo, they don't understand. When they take power, they say they want to do away with what the other man was built over the past time. So that is exactly what Baka is doing. Instead of furnishing these hospitals that were built by his predecessors. Thank you, Brother Paul. He's building something new that he's not going to put furniture in. I mean, how do you call it? He's not going to put equipment in, and that costs a lot to the Liberian people. This something it has to stop, and Liberian people have to speak about it. That it have to stop. That government is continuation. If Baka is building something today that's going to benefit the Liberian people, the next person come to power, you continue from where Baka stopped. It's not going to do nothing to your need. When it's beautiful and Liberians are enjoying it, you're going to be get the praises. It's not going to be Baka. Baka going to be gone. Anything they do now on the 14 military hospital, they're going to say, oh, the Baka administration, he equipped the 14 military hospital, even though if people say we are building out, also a good thing. Yeah, we are building.
But it's not even for we are, it's for the country,
it's
is
not
it?
even for we are, it's the Liberian. This is why I told you that Liberian people don't understand a damn thing about politics. You understand? The politics, they praise the individual more than the government. Liberian people are loyal to individual. They are not even loyal to the government. And this is where the problem is, Brother Joma. And I don't want us to escape this teenage pregnancy in Liberia. If we just spend a few minutes on it, because it's devastating. And these are the how they call it, what's the political term on it? Human resource capital of the country that are being destroyed. Because without them, we don't have a country.
Okay. Anyway, we want to just stop there, not too much on this, because we just discussed the hospital already and the new one building, but they got $6 million mansion in Foya. While
it's $10 million.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, $10 million.
$10 million $10 million mansions being built in Foya.
And they spend $6 million to move Yeka Koruba from power.
$6 million to move Yeka. Then we have clinic in Bond County still in this 2026, giving in the delivering babies without electricity.
You have an 80-some-more-year-old president driving a bulletproof car that nobody get time to kill him. Who want to take an 80-year-old man?
We will. I want to go back to this. That's. We want to go too much on that. I want to just a quick minute on the. We have the last topic to discuss. Not too much long. Not too much time. We want to be on that. Will be that teenage pregnancy in Liberia. That's the last topic we want to talk tonight. And something. Well, I don't see something for that here. I think I put it on here today. It's been removed, but I'm going to look for that. Gentlemen, quickly. Let's go to Mark. Mark, teenage pregnancy in Liberia. Our young girls, sisters, daughters are leaving schools because of pregnancy. Most of them can't afford. Parents, they have to get pregnant because of their probably their people that are looking after them, like age mate or their godfathers, they call in Liberia, older men to able to feed their parents. So they mostly will leave school because of that. But then the flip side of it, the people that are doing that, they're not being brought to justice because most of those girls are not even reached the age of adulthood or adolescenthood. So they've been taken out of schools because of the pregnancy. Is it like just said? This is not affecting the resources in our country.
I can tell you this thing been around for a very long time, but it's just on a massive scale now that is exposed everywhere. Before, there was a time I remember the late president when people used to put young girls in their cars and stuff with these tinted glasses, and he told them to remove them. And if you are found with just a girl underage girl in your car, and they're gonna ask you question. Those days, it was the late President Samuel Doe, and people say, "Oh, he was afraid because how they call it? There was some assassin that were in the country," but that was the reason he did it. And now, what you find in Liberia is because the living condition is so hard. So the predators, they prey on the young girls, if it's the rightful way I'm putting it. So, and you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? Ashamed of yourself to go after somebody that I would say that there was one time a friend of mine came from Liberia and making this kind of stuff. Oh, the young girls and the little things in Liberia. I'm like, man, how old are they? Oh, you can get these 20-some-more-year-old things. I'm like, man, you should be ashamed of yourself, first of all. Yeah. As a father who have daughters in the same age, like then try to change the story, the narrative that the person they were after lied to them that they were above age. I'm like, but you're supposed to look at the face of the person and determine. So, and then two, the children themselves, among themselves, right? The education system in the country is bad because if you had a good education system in the country, the teenage pregnancy would have been, minimized, and they would have gotten good education. There will be a lot of facilities in the country. Things won't be as difficult as it is for them to go be hanging. My friends tell me that you go out in the night, you find these 16, 15, 17-year-old babies that are supposed to be home doing their lesson or in bed at that time, thinking about the next day. They are hanging out. Some of them, they leave home very early. Okay, they go, they stop with friends. Some of them, they are three. Yeah, it's so sad, Jamal. Some of them, they are 2, 3 living in an apartment. They want to live their flashy life because the whole society got destroyed by this evil Ellen Johnson. She is the evil of Liberia. This woman destroyed Liberia because she never built the foundation. And all the other fools that are coming after her, they are also continuing to destroy the country. And Liberian people need to wake up.
Okay. Paul, in 3 teenage girl pregnancy, girls being punished here, boys boys are protected. What does this what is this does this break this cycle? How do you break this cycle? Girls are getting pregnant, but boys stay in school. Let's look at it. If they appear age good or age mate, have they impregnated? The boys won't be punished. They take the girl, go live with them. They'll look after you until you give birth to that baby, and they will pass on to you. But then they'll stay in school while the girls are out of school until they can give birth. On top of another question I want to put up, Paul. Another thing I want to say, Mark just mentioned corporate. Let me end this statement.
Okay.
In court, just said Johnson said they are predators. Now, they are. If you call them predators, Aku sounds good, but like in the society where their parents are allowing these young kids to go out and look for daily bread because they can't afford, they are dying. They don't have food at home, and they use this girl to go home and bring money and fetch money for bring home to bring bread on the table. So, who is responsible for this system now? Is it the government failing us? Because if you want to put a child in the school, the child does not have food in home. Parents are broke; they don't have anything. Age, something like that. They got terminal cases, diseases. They can't do anything. They got a dying parent, a dying mom, and die sitting at home. They won't feed them. The only way to get money is to get on the street. So who is fitting the system? Who is fitting the girls, the young kids?
One thing the government need to do as fast as possible is to have these children to take these injections of prevention, like what they do in Europe here. These teenage, they gave them these injections to prevent this kind of.
It's not the government right. You're being infringing on their rights.
No, Jema.
Yeah, I mean,
let's get the
voluntary.
conversation. Let's get this thing straight.
Okay. Go on, Paul.
You talk about girls and boys in school. The boys not in
two questions into one.
Yeah, the boys not in school either. And the girls, the boys are the pimping routers, the girls are the educated one.
Okay, now, what about the pregnant one?
The pregnant one, this have to do with the predators. So they have two group of people in Liberia. The young people that the breadwinner of their family, those are the young hawkers. They don't get the injection Mark is talking about, they have it all over the place. They take it. So the community that they grow in.
Will you give injection, like you and Mark saying? Will you give injection without the consent of the person?
No. What happened? They have the education about all the girls in Liberia.
But teenage pregnancy,
yeah. Okay, to prevent it. They have the medicine. They do it. It's not that expensive. I think they take it for 3 months, and after every 3 months, they take it again. But in the community, this is where the situation become rampant among their peer groups.
Exactly.
The pimping routers, the 13-year-old boy that pimping. He now see his
What
man,
is
he
pimping?
getting
Is
money.
that motorbike riders?
Motorcycle. That's what they call
Motorcycles.
pimping, motorcycle.
Okay.
The
Okay.
13-year-old that Ryan A, because he's getting few little dollars, he now go into the community and look for his peer group and get them pregnant. This is all over the place. One pimping rider could have about 7 children. So this is the situation on the ground.
Yep.
You see? And so you found babies born in babies. So this is where the government need to take responsibility.
But Ellie did something. Ellie was trying to provide schools for, giving girls free education for girls. And now you could remember also, Madam, the former mayor of Monrovia, Mary Bro, used to go out there on the street where the girls were hustling. Get on the street to look for their little money, taking them, giving them, practically whipping them out of the streets. But the government was providing something. What can the government do to stop these teenage pregnancy? The parents don't have money. If I'm home, I can't afford. My daughter is there. Who can afford? I can't control her. She's 18. 17.
Jamal, why is it that you can't afford?
No,
what the problem is that you can't.
Most parents,
but you can you answer this question?
Yeah, I can't afford food. I can't afford food. I can't afford
because
food.
the parents are lack of jobs.
Yes,
that's the reason. Okay.
Yes,
the 12 years of the Unity Party, the government, the concession they signed in the country. How many Liberians got employed out of there?
No,
out of them?
Mark,
forget about employment. Mark, let's leave employment out of question. I will answer your question. I want to add this to you. Can answer it. Paul, let me add this to you as well. Sometimes most people are in a retirement age. They can't work. What do you do for them? Add to that question. Forget about they can't work. They are already reached that pension age. They can't work. They never worked before. They are sick. Most of the, if you see that common illness in Liberia, diabetes or blood pressure. So what do you do for them?
Many Liberians, except for those that were born in the in the early 70s and the war came, okay, those are the ones you're talking about. But many Liberians in the 75 going to 80s, these are people that work and pay for their pension. But when the war came, the 14-year civil war, it destroyed everything. But the new government that came after the war, what did they do? They never put things in place in order for them to take care of this problem that we are talking about today. Had they done the right thing, government after one another, let us take the case of Rwanda today, that almost how many 1 point something million that in Rwanda, right? But look at Rwanda today, okay? They fought a brutal civil war, I think more than Liberia. In West Africa, Liberia civil war couldn't be compared to even I think the Biafra, if I'm right, okay? But the government in Rwanda, Paul Kagame, he did the right thing. His people, those that were in old age or those that got in their old age, they are well taken care of. They are getting pension in Rwanda. But because what you have in Liberia, you have an irresponsible group of people that get into politics, go into the community, give these people few dollars, and they say, Muya, 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 CDC or Unity Party, and they get elected and they don't know what. It's like you employ a drunkard to be your cook. You're going to eat a lot of salt.
Guys, got less than 5 minutes. Go on, Paul. Mark, go on.
Yeah, go on, Mark. I just said it. You employ a drunkard to be your cook. You're going to eat a lot of salt. And Liberian people are eating salt because they employ drunkards to be their cook.
Okay. Thank you. That used to believe that we have a predators in the country and the government is failing our people. That's why we got teenage pregnancy. Most of our young daughters, sisters, girls are out of school in Liberia. If it's just Johnny, we are discussing teenage pregnancy in Liberia, out of control. How do we help her out? Paul, what do you think?
So, Jamal,
yes,
the thing is simple. If you have bad leadership, you not expect those situations to go away. That's to start with. the teenage pregnancy started during the Civil War when babies were born in babies. Now that thing continued to today's date. So the baby who born baby cannot even guard the baby that is born. And that baby to go born another baby that he can't guard that baby that
So
is
what do
born.
you think is the problem, Paul? We got 5 minutes, Paul. Left 4 minutes, sorry.
This
What do
is
you think is the problem?
well, when the society collapse, that's the problem.
How can we solve it? That's all for to give solution.
Yeah, the
How do we get-
solution to the
Yes.
solution to this problem is about you need to find out why it is that these young kids not in school, they're born in babies. Why is it? What the cause? Is that because of the parenting of them, or is it because of the peer pressure from their community? So if you can have a solution to that, that means each community, the parents need to take
Brother Paul, we cannot give any solution here. Look at the whole country. Look at the garbage in the street. The other day, the women in Douala, they couldn't sell. The whole system has broken down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a failed country. So to get a failed country going, this is where you need to invest heavily in the citizen. We're talking about the consensual area, for people to look after the well-being of the people. The government of Liberia have the responsibility to look after the well-being of its citizens.
There you go.
But because the government of Liberia refused to look after the well-being of its citizens, this is the situation that you get. If the president can take $1.2 million to wrap bulletproof car, that money could have gone into schools that young children. You know what? You know why the kids are getting pregnant, Jamal? Because money cannot afford $60 when a school open to pay registration fees. She cannot afford it. So the young child sitting at home, bored enough, the pimping rider come around, the motorcycle ball come around.
A hungry mind cannot focus. The child comes from school, no food in the house. The child cannot read. And until Liberian people will elect a responsible government, Liberia ain't going nowhere. The whole system has collapsed. Your security apparatus has collapsed. The medical system sector has collapsed. Every damn sector of the government has collapsed. That's why drugs come in your country. That's why disease in your country. That's why, sickness in your country. That's why the madness in your country. People, policemen kill. Just imagine policemen drinking you and go and kill himself.
So let me add to that. You see, saying the Colombian drugs cartel have not entered Liberia. We'll have more drugs added in Liberia too. That will be another added problem. We already had the Zoko. The number now going to increase. You see what we heading? Liberia will be more than
it's just a matter of time before those so-called intellectuals start taking the cocaine themselves.
Yeah.
On that note, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. We were discussing Liberia. Tonight we're looking at the new maternity hospital being groundbreaking for the new maternity hospital in Dubai Road by the facility in Liberia. We also look at the cocaine, probed into the cocaine issues in Liberia. Who owns the drugs? 10 persons been named as persons of interest. We also look at teenage pregnancy in Liberia. How can we solve it? Going back down
those
to
weak political parties who got in Liberia are sitting there.
Yeah, we also were looking at the deliveries with $10 million worth of properties being built in the rural in Liberia, where the government with Bond County clinics in Bond counties carrying out delivery in the darkness using torchlight and mobile light. And also we're looking at the other issue, $600 million worth of project coming into Sano County from a gold mining project by Mansa, a Dubai company is behind connected to Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso. But anyway, that was straight tonight. If you are with us, we say thank you for being with us tonight. Don't forget to join us. The law on Sunday. Paul, the Law Children Play will be on Sunday. Audience with the Law Children Play on Sunday. On the issue, he'll be having a special guest, but that will be a story. Watch out for him, and don't forget to join us on Friday again. This will be the main show, the Borderline Liberia. I want to thank my colleague from Sweden. From Sweden, Mark Judofa, for the Lord. Gentlemen, I gave you 3 seconds take away, then we'll have tell our audience have a pleasant weekend. Mark, what do you got for me?
What I got for you is that I hope the Labour Party will bring my man back, Jeremy Corbyn.
Marxist Jeremy Corbyn. Go.
Well, for your
Go on,
information, he's formed his own political party now, so he's not going to be with Labour anymore.
So, boy, what you got?
People's Party. Well,
he's being considered as a Marxist. They don't want him. That's why I say he's hardcore. They call him the Marxist Jeremy Corbyn. So he's hardcore socialist. That's why they consider him. So they don't want to give him a chance. That's not going to happen in this country, gentlemen. Paul, what do you got?
I just want to say thanks to our audience for being with us and hope to see you all back here on Friday.
Thank you. Don't forget to join Paul on Friday, and also Paul. So I'm gonna be on Friday. Mark and Paul will be on Friday. Probably Francis will be here, as well as Linford also will be here. I will be away myself. After Friday, we have Saturday, the story with Francis Monomensa. On Sunday, we have the audience with the law, Paul Chuluple. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching us. Please make a borderline part of your life. Always subscribe. I want to wish you a pleasant week. From me in Manchester, Jamal Kamal is my name from Manchester, and also have my good friend Mark Judafar in Sweden, Paul the Lord Children in London. We want to say I wish you a pleasant weekend. Thank you very much and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jamal.